Hello! Time for another episode of Summoner School. Need to stop saying so much. So today we're going to work on jungle. It's episode 9, jungle number 2. My name is Jonas Hex. I'm a platinum ranked pie filler in North America. That is about all I've ever done in League of Legends. I'm not on any team. I'm ranked like 1600 in most time played, so I've definitely put my hours into at least, and I try to learn from everything I do, constantly trying to improve. That is half of what got me to where I am. That and my aversion to social activities. So, the game we're going to look at today, I'm mostly going to be jungling. I'm only going to be jungling with Volibear. Mostly would imply that there's a game that I'm going to be showing that doesn't have Volibear. And there is not such a game. I tried preloading the replay today, and we'll see if it worked. Doesn't seem to like being minimized for any length of time. I'm staring at a black screen. This is not ideal. Come on. This is what happens when you try to prepare things. All blows up in your face. Okay, well, I guess we'll close that and we'll try this again. Put my big stupid face back on the screen so you can see my big stupid face, because that's important. We had a bit of a weird team comp in this game. Galio mid, which you don't see too often. I think he actually picked him to counter the Malzahar, who ended up jungling on their team, which is also not very standard. Jungle Malzahar was cool, but it didn't work. Helped him. I think, if I had to guess, he was actually duo with this Orianna, this Malzahar and this Orianna here. Maybe I should show you the screen that I'm staring at. That would be cool, right? Right? Because they were really chaining their ultimates together with ganks. It seemed like Orianna was always saving it for Malzahar. Malzahar was always saving his gank to gank mid with Orianna. Okay, we have a screen now. That's a step in the right direction. Getting higher up now, I'm playing with diamonds. And they played like diamonds. The bot lane actually had a lot of fun engagements to watch that I'm going to try and focus on. This Caitlyn made some plays. She didn't win, but she still made plays. Galio and Orianna were fun to watch in mid too. This Jarvan completely shit all over Fiora. He's one of my buddies. We do every once in a while, and the games always goes exceptionally well. It really works when you can guarantee that you're going to be winning a couple lanes. I mean, we put him in jungle or top or mid, and that lane is almost always going to generally do well. And if it's jungle, then it's going to be other lanes that he's going to be improving, not his own. But anyways, seeing a lot of smurfing Jarvans right now. He's definitely a champion you may want to pick up to learn for a whole. He can do a whole bunch of things, just for the fact that he can top, mid, and jungle. That usually means the champion's broken if they can perform multiple roles. I mean, Kayle for the longest time could perform all 5 roles, and she was wildly broken. That's definitely tapering off now. Galio wants to get cute. I don't do a lot of counter jungling. It's something I'm trying to incorporate more into my game, but I like establishing a strong base at the early game. And that is largely through, getting your 2 buffs, getting a lane gank in. I noticed there shenanigans kick off once you start invading, especially in solo queue. With the range teams it's different, but in solo queue I really don't like invading too much, unless your comp is really built around it. I mean, half the time with Volibear I have to start Q, and starting Q means, I don't have to take Q for the engagement. Like, his E slow is useful, but being able to reposition somebody and get on top of them and reposition them into your team is obviously way bigger than a slow. So it's hard not to take that Q when the opportunity presents itself on the early invade, and then it also usually means I don't get a leash. So I've now got to kill this thing with basically 1 extra empowered auto attack every 12 seconds or something. It's not a good farming. The Volibear's already in a kind of a bad spot when it comes to clears. If you want to play him, be prepared to be clearing the jungle a lot slower. I just don't farm that much with him. I'm more farm just to try and maintain my level, so I can still be effective when I go to gank. and I still have some money and some items for late game. I largely focus more on ganking lanes with Volibear than I do farming. And this isn't so much a Volibear tutorial. I mean, I know he's not played often. The new Spirit Stone item is a really big buff for him. For a couple reasons. It scales his health throughout the game. It gives him armor, which he was lacking early on. You usually had to buy just a naked cloth armor, just for that extra bit of tankiness, so you don't get bursted down when your ultimates or your passives on. I mean, the more health you have, the more health his passive returns, so that's really, really nice. His W scales on health damage. So there's a bunch of reasons why Volibear may be a lot stronger right now than he used to be, just because of that one item. I was going Feral Flare before this, and it was sort of working. It definitely increased his clear speed, which was really nice. The new jungle item does not. I don't even really see a big difference in my clear speed, if there even is one. I even sat there letting one of the non-main Wraith hit me for damage for a considerable amount of time, and it didn't do anything. Like, it didn't die. It had no health, and I let it hit me just to see if it would finish it off, and it didn't. So it doesn't do much in terms of damage on the minions. The Thorn on that new one. That was a little disappointing, but the health regen is really nice, and the bonus health is massive. It sucks losing the tenacity, but the tenacity from the mastery page I find is generally enough, at least in solo queue. That may change once I reach a higher elo and I start coming across a lot more CC champions and just more competent players, but for the moment it's holding at the bottom of Platinum, so I should say the top of Plat 5, that's more. That sounds better. Okay, so I should focus more on, I'm rambling a little more on general theory and a lot less on when to gank and why. This is definitely the best option right now. I wanted to cover earlier how in the minimap a lot of the lanes were pushed. Top lane was almost always pushed, Jarvan was winning. Mid was almost always pushed with Orianna, and bot lane was kind of in the middle. But ganking bot lane early on without a significant amount of damage on your champion specifically, I found is really problematic. Ganking bot lanes in general is really problematic with tanky junglers until you hit the early, until you get a couple items and some boots, just so you can get on top of them. And even then, you'll see later on in the game, I'm really skittish about closing the gap unless I think that it's going to net a kill and they're just going to run and not turn on me. It changes as I get more health, but that, I think, is the way to go. I was weaker with Galio early on, where I would almost play how I was when I was fed. After, I'd finish one game, I'd have a ton of health, I'd be super tanky, I'd be initiating like a god. And then I would kind of just keep doing that the next game, and it would not work out. This is more developing bad habits in one game, or not tapering your aggression to the scenario. So, Orianna was low, but she's still, like, I want her to sort of wander out into mid before I go for the gank. When it comes to jungling, there is really an opportunity and a timing thing that you gotta nail. I've seen a lot of junglers, weak junglers, they're always weak junglers. When they get to the lane, they are running into the lane. That is what's happening. And if it doesn't immediately net a kill, they go right back to farming. You don't want to camp the lane viciously. There is a fine line that you sort of have to find, and it's not easy to find, where whether or not you're going to be able to get the kill. And it's based on the champion that you're ganking and the person that's playing them. I mean, if it's a Caitlyn and she's blowing your net all the time to engage, that's an easy kill. But most of the time, it's not going to be, just because a smart Caitlyn will position well and it'll just net away, and then you won't ever get near her. So, what am I trying to teach from this? I did hover around and I kept watching mid, and Orianna kept pushing, so that was just an easy kill. Even back up, I kind of rambled through it. Got lost at a point. I always show here. This is a really good tool to use. Just showing that you're coming in for the gank. There's later in the game where Malzahar shows that too. I've got all these plans for these videos when I go over them before I do the recorded version, and I swear I never touch on half of what I plan to say. She's good and bad. May touch on other points that are useful. See, I even critique myself in the middle of videos while I'm recording them. I do the same thing in games, just constantly. I wanted to show how I use green pings very religiously on ganks, just to show the direction that I'm coming from and the fact that I'm on my way. Try and drop them in the screen that you think the person's... Well, I mean, like, most likely this is where Galio's screen centered, right? So putting it right here, it's going to be really hard for him to miss. It just almost guarantees that coordination is going to come. Because I know myself as a laner, I really tunnel vision on the farm, the amount of distance I'm maintaining from the champion, my cooldowns. I don't see the jungler coming a lot of the times until he's already in the lane. So I know from my experience that is a useful thing that would help me coordinate with my jungler gank, so I do it for other people. That's kind of my thought process behind how I sort of end up in making changes to my game. So here's a spot where the lane's pushed out far enough. There's no real point in waiting any longer, especially with the way the minion waves were. The lane's not going to move far from where it was. I almost should have paused before this started. I'm coming down the lane, and hopefully I ping to show that yeah, I'm on my way. There's the two pings. One from the direction that I plan to come in, and then another one just right in front of them so they can see it. Two pings are better than one. I haven't used my Q yet. I can grab Caitlyn here. They had moved here. I'm gonna back that up one more time. Right here is where I wanted to initiate. Ah, I missed it again. 1608, I went to 1614. Right here. I was literally about to hit the Q. And then Nami bubbled them both at the same time. So Caitlyn's gonna get a lot of free hits in on me. Plus she has the heal. I'm pretty sure they still had their summoners. Like, just because I can get to her doesn't mean the kill's going to happen. So the second that bubble hits, I just back off. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? Like, even just showing up to the lane, the fact that I let them know that I'm going to be around later, it's going to keep them warding, and it's going to keep them from overextending, and also not giving the kill away and putting my bot lane into a situation where they could potentially die or get ganked by their jungler, because I don't know where Malzahar is. Like, you look at my vision here. I promise this is the last time we'll rewind to this spot. It's completely dark. Like, we don't know where their jungler is. He was mid before, he's full health. I mean, I didn't see this. I try to pay attention to this crap. And I was about to go back, but I decided the lane was in a position that a gank was a potential opportunity. But yeah, it's dark. I don't know where Malzahar is, so that's the other reason that I wanted to mention why I wanted to back off from this. Because a lot of times, you'll keep going here, their jungler will see that the gank started, and he'll immediately beeline to the lane. And like, if he was a golems, he's gonna he will turn that around in a heartbeat. Maybe not a Malzahar so much, but you know, regular junglers with CC and gap closers. But you don't wanna. I don't want to go for the gank or overextend on the gank just because I don't respect Malzahar's damage. I'm not really sure what he's building or how much damage he's going to have as a jungler. It's going to be less than what he would have been in lane. But anyways, I'm drilling this point home, I think. Could move on to the next one. Watch bot lane trade some more. Diamond Lucian and high plat Caitlyn. I do love Xerath as a support. I played him a lot before Vel'Koz came out. He can just apply so much pressure safely from a distance. Plus he's got the CC for saving people, for saving your ADC, or to lock down theirs. It gives you a lot of options. Of course. You also gotta be careful. Wasn't that a money flash? Like, it definitely would have killed him. He had less than 200 health. It's 250. See, now she's pushed. They're not near their turret. They're low on mana, and there's a good chance they've already blown a summoner or two. So this spot I'm not, and like I know that there's a chance either that bubble's gonna land or I'm gonna step on that stupid trap, so I just flash over both. Using a flash to secure kill in lane is always worth it, especially early on. Assuming you're not flashing under a turret. Moving along. If I had to guess, Malzahar is going to be ganking this lane any second. There he is. I only saw him in the corner of the mini-map here, but it's a pretty safe bet. Galio did not, obviously. I didn't either, otherwise I would have taken it. I share blue sometimes I don't. It depends on how much pressure is being applied to mid. If I think they're going to keep it and use it effectively, I'll give it to them. There's another point later in the game where I get doubles, and I ping blue buff wildly so Galio can come get it. There's no point in reapplying it on myself. And this sort of turns into a sort of weird tipsy-turvy spot. I know Malzahar's sitting in this spot. I know he's not going to leave, so I ward and kind of stick around. Like, Galio's super low, and he's been showing a preference towards ganking the lane. So I know Malzahar didn't see me. I knew he was sort of around here now. And with the ward being swept, this is almost a free kill. Like, especially with this wasn't a kill that we got so much as it was one that Ori gave away. By staying low, by staying in an area that's dark. I mean, I've showed up mid enough times for her to know that I'm looking for opportunities. And she absolutely gave that kill away. That was her more making a mistake than we took advantage of the mistake that she made, but nothing really special there. I was actually being a little more skittish than I had to be, but once Galio wind tunneled behind me. Here's a good reason why you always want to keep your bottom bush warded. Malzahar. There's a joke there to be had, but I'm at the tail end of all the coffee I've drank today. My brain starts becoming less and less funny, the less caffeine I have. Don't know if I'm going to be bringing the funny today. I like to bring the funny when I can. But I'm speaking so, like, matter-of-factly, and almost like dictating information. It's almost got to bring somebody else in so I can let them comment and then make silly. Anyways, I'm getting off topic just a little. I was hoping... Here, let's back up to this spot where I went in on gank on Ori and then just backed off. I do a lot of that. Do a lot of charging as Volibear and then end up going nowhere with it. And here, I'm not running out immediately. I want to try and coordinate this with the mid. And I'm assuming he sees this. It's hard not to. He was just walking up the lane. And I was hoping Orianna was going to move in to engage. She had the minion wave, and it was largely she turned to go back instead of turn to walk forward. She turned to walk forward there, completely different scenario. Most likely would have netted a kill. But even the fact that she started walking away when I went out to get the gank, I'm already really discouraged to continue it. Here, I really regretted not sticking around to hit Malzahar one more time. But the lane was dark and I was pretty sure Orianna was on her way. Ended up chasing him down. There wasn't much more to happen there. And I walk away. You always really want to be skittish about making plays in the enemy jungle. Because sometimes there's just no way to know that someone's going to be showing up to help and is going to completely turn that kill around. It's a good example of overextending. Yeah. I mean, overextending in the pure sense is generally 5-team, we push turret, we take turret, we go for second turret when we're already like all at half health. They've revived and healed and are on their way back, and then we all die. That's overextending 101. So, what else was in this game? That was interesting. There's another crappy attempt by Fiora to kill Jarvan. I don't think she's actually gotten there yet. Oh, she did. It's happened. Dragon God went down. I really wanted to dive this Orianna in so many spots this game. If I was paying more attention maybe to Malzahar when he ultimated, that was my biggest fear. You go to dive, he comes out from around the corner, drops his ult when you're under the turret, and that's just way too long. Way too long getting hit by a turret at this level. I wasn't sure she was still there. Fortunately, like I don't know how long that recall's been going for. I want to walk here and then flip her backwards, but just got to get the hit on her. It's the important bit. I maybe could have tried closing the gap and hitting her with the E, but I was pretty sure Jarvan would get the kill. And I just do my part and walk away. I mean, there's not much more for me to add there. Better chance that I would die to their jungler trying to help Jarvan get away than help secure any kill. Or stop that jungler from killing him. Who was picking that? It doesn't show me. I wonder if that was Galio. Let me dive. Yeah, well, that's why I didn't want to get too cute around that turret. Aggressive Malzahar. Works out for us. Ended up luring out Ori. Secures a double. Dies though. Sucks, but whatever. I used to level W first, and got very used to how much damage it would do. And lately I've been leveling Q to level 3, sometimes level 4, but usually at least level 3 first. And that has been costing me kills here and there. I just gotta wait a little longer to land a bite. It also kind of works out in spots in bot lane and mid where I would have normally taken the kill, but instead now I give it to the laner, which is always what I prefer to do. I'll even I mean, there's nothing wrong with the laner's going to benefit from that kill a lot more than you will. I survive largely in these games off of very little jungle farm. It's mostly like assist gold and mostly assist gold. I don't take a lot of kills. Then again, as a tank, I don't need a whole bunch of money. That's one reason why I like tanky junglers. As long as they have a certain degree of utility, being able to soak a lot of damage, initiate at good times, and help out teammates against problematic champions is the best impact I've found I can have as a jungler in solo queue. Really like tanky junglers with mobility, like Volibear and Sejuani are my two favorites by far. They both serve different purposes. Like Volibear's better at single target damage, and Sejuani is more mobile and has more CC, and her initiations are definitely stronger. And her just crushes bot lanes at level 6. Like, it's stupid. I mean, you can throw your ultimate in mid Q, so you can come over the wall and like that shit's already in midair. I mean, half the time the enemy laners only get a chance to turn around. Like, sometimes you'll see a flash, but most of the time, like, there's not even the time to react when you see it. It's just a beautiful little ability combo. Anyways. So if you want my advice, I take Volibear for single target damage, like if there's a Rengar on their team. There's so many people. Zed. I mean, you can flip tanks off. I prefer to stick to my carries a lot more with Volibear, and Sejuani I'll more get into the enemy team. Just because, I mean, Sejuani, she's got the AoE too, which is a pretty big bonus. Compared to what the AoE that Volibear does, which is not much with his... Even with his ultimate going, you're not going to usually hit their entire team with every chain shot. You'll catch, you know, three, maybe 4 people semi-well clustered together. And even then, you're not going to be landing a wealth of auto attacks. You're going to be getting CC'd so much. And that's generally my experience. I'm not big on chasing this, but Orianna is such a valuable target that I didn't feel comfortable going any further than that, and I think it was definitely the right call when you saw Nami show up. Right here, I'm so tanky and I have so much health, but like, I saw Malzahar was middle fighting our mid. I just decided to just take this. This is just brute force. No sight, no nothing. It's not terribly smart, but it works. I waste a lot of their laners' times, too. Caitlyn's here for a while, Nami's here for a while. But as long as there's no Malzahar, and they can't nuke me, or CC me, the Nami bubble was probably the biggest threat. You sort of saw that I was kind of dancing back and forth. I was worried about popping out of the bush, so I'm trying to maintain a bit of mystery as to what spot you need to throw it in. I can dodge once I see it hit the air. Also, it's going to be coming out from a bush, too, so it's a lot less time I'm going to have to react to it. This dragon probably could have been done earlier. That's one weak part of my game right now, is making better use of the map. The dragon, well, better use of the map, I can word that better. Taking the dragon at safer times, and more frequently than I do. Because right now it's more, I'm in the area, my screen wanders over dragon, I'm like, dragon's a really good idea, we should do that now. That's more, I mean, I know that the dragon timer is 6 minutes, but do I always remember to keep track of that? No. No, I really wish I did, but no, I do not. At all. Almost not at all. I know when it's generally a smart idea to take it. I can look at a scenario and, you know, be like, this is not a good spot, you know, it's 4-on-4, but we're all at half health, and they've got 3 really strong initiators, or they got one really tanky person that can just dive into our team and you know, prevent me from safely taking it. Or their jungler's up and he's got smite and I don't. Or there's a bunch of spots that make it so you don't really want to if you do a dragon. Or it's a lot more of a risk. And whether or not you want to, I mean, like that's, with risk comes reward, right? Waiting to do the dragon at a safe point could cost you it, where, you know, you end up having to go gank top lane and they see your top lane, so the enemy team goes for the easy dragon. So there's no real one rule you can make for it, but just try and take it as safely and as often as possible. I wanted to keep going there, but once Orianna showed up, it kind of ended my initiation. I can't take any more damage. Back off. My passive heals me if it's even didn't get activated. There's definitely, you can't stand there usually and take damage unless you're fed and super tanky. As Volibear, you sort of initiate, let the passive kick in, and then back off, let it heal you, and then reinitiate. In an ideal spot, anyways. This Piotrix Jarvan plays a little differently than I do. I do a lot more roaming with the team once I take down the first tower. I'll mostly push the lane out a little bit and then start joining the team to help, which I think is better in solo queue, but also his crush lane, take tons of farm, walk in at the perfect time and shut down everybody is absolutely okay too. I mean, it works. He's probably got more laning experience than I do, especially in top and middle. So he's the kind of guy who I sort of defer to his expertise in those spots. Wasn't that a beautiful little flash? Like, it was a good flash to escape, and they didn't even hesitate. Remember that from earlier. We were all commenting on it after. Galio said, "What the fuck, that flash?" I said, yes, wasn't that flash? Xerath getting away by the hair of his chin. These are all good trajectories for him to have thrown his stun right there, when he was right here, right along there, right here. Because these are all straight lines people are going to have to run in to catch up to you. For a quick skill shot trajectory tutorial when you're getting run from. You always want to sort of run to a spot like, say you're running around this horn, chucking a skill shot in this direction, dark, that's a tough line. But if you can wait for another second, or you go from here to there, and then just throw it straight back along this line, that's almost always going to land, unless you throw it too soon. Yeah. What else is there? What else happened in this game that was interesting? I can't think of anything. Maybe we'll just move on to the next game. Been in this one for a while. So we go kill Nexus, win, yay. Huzzah. The next game we did not win, but the laning phase started out well. And it was largely due to a Satan teemo that just was determined to not be very useful to the team. How far back is it? Satan teemo, where are you? Alright, it's like 5th from the top. There he is. And minimize, and we bring up window, and it should be there, right? Right? No? Yes? No? Watch another screen. Let's see if that worked. No? There. Sweet. This guy's the last gangplank in North America for a reason. He laned really well, he engaged, we had a lot of synergy with the ganks, but it wasn't any fault to him. Gangplank's just a shitty champion. Like, I got him so much more fed than, I ganked that mid lane so many times to kill that Orianna, and then she had so much more impact in the team fights. Like, it was really depressing to see, because he's largely got his stupid ultimate and then his parlay with the static shiv. Like, that's all his team fight damage. That, and I guess he can, you know, gains 8 attack, shitty passive, fires pistol in the air. Yeah, he can boost his team's damage. The cannon barrage is random. It's more useful to gank and get assists, free gold from. Like,
30 seconds until
there's just nothing Gangplank does well. Doesn't really have any CC, doesn't have any significant AoE damage. He's not a bad top lane tank, but even then, like, there's so many people that do what he does but better, except maybe gather gold. Or is that, does that even have, yeah, okay. Parlay still gives him monies. One neat trick that I picked up from someone else in the Summoner School subreddit is you buy Trinket first, you ward it like just after the 1 minute mark with the Trinket, and then you go back and buy a sweeper. So you get a free ward. Everyone likes free things. It definitely is a good trick. I mean, you get a free sight, and I haven't come into a spot yet where I needed a sweeper and it was down from the selling, so there's something to be said for doing that. It's probably going to get nerfed if I had to guess, but for the moment, might as well use it. Forward. Oh, I missed. It's too far. Go to Polar Bear. I like level 2 ganking with voli when I start on red side. It slows down my farm a little bit, and it doesn't always net a kill, but it has definitely gotten, it seems to have about like a 50%, maybe 33%, 1 in 3. You can snowball mid really early doing that. Or help mid start to snowball is probably a better way to put it. But again, it slows you down really badly. I wanted to gank. I had intentions on camping this Rise this game. I really wanted to. One of the reasons I couldn't was it's like right here where, you know, say it's not level 2, say I'm level 7, I'm getting these wolves. How can I run top when Oriana's right here, pushed in front of the turret at half health? There's a lot of spots like that. And without breaking out a calculator, I'm not sure I'm ever going to figure out whether or not which spot would have been perfect in which scenario. And that's only a calculation you could do at the end of the game after you see how much damage everyone ends up doing in team fights. I mean, it would be a lot of work just to figure out whether or not, in this one particular instance, if that was a good idea. And you don't know whether or not your teammates are going to be... You don't know what they're going to do. So, you know, the fuck was I going with that explanation? Just leave it at that, maybe. I got to a concise point. So I want to gank this, but Teemo's 200 health. With all those mini-waves. Like, he lands an auto-attack onto Rise. That's almost enough to kill him just from the casters. And I know Rise is most likely still has Flash. Yeah, it does. And Ignite. So, like, there's... I mean, a Q and Ignite. Like, right here, Flash, Q, Ignite, dead. I don't know why he doesn't do that. I would have been... I absolutely would have done it, even right in front of me. Even right in front of the jungler, I might have. So I'm telling him either heal or go back, and I'll hold the lane. Which kind of sucks, because I really need to be in other lanes helping at this point. It kind of blew my mind when I saw the teleport there and he's hovering around at 200 health. Like, he's not... You're not baiting at that point, you're just being stupid. I mean, if you have any hope of surviving that initial burst, but you really don't. The entire team's around, and, you know, like, that person flashing into you is going to get you killed for sure. We're going to get them killed, and it's not so bad, but... Just need to ping it into the lane again. I think I just end up blowing Flash? Yeah. And once she flashes, that's about the end of the gank. Like, you've done your job. You can come back and try again later. I mean, every once in a while, you know, they'll be right here, and then they'll flash right here, and I've already run up from the bush, so that's not a spot where you want to back off. The one useful thing he did all game, somehow first blood of the Rise. And it's all downhill from there. I think he went 1 and 8 or something. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm thinking of another game, but I'm quite certain that's the useless Satan pushing Teemo that never got a turret beyond that one, never joined a team for team fights. Man, did I try to gank this bot lane. Thresh made things a little hard with this flay. You saw, especially there, me backing up, just logging up for my Q to not land, and then landed the flay to pull me out of the turret and activate my passive and chunk down all that lovely health that I used to have. I'm not sure if this bush is warded, but I could tell just from their reaction there that it probably wasn't. And I knew it wouldn't really hurt us too badly, making one more attempt at that kill. I do wish they had backed off once we got to that stage, because there was no more advantages to be had. They just took a couple free hits. They were backing off exactly like I would have liked. I have noticed the diamond players I play with, when I back off, they move almost in sequence with me. Where the lower down in league I go, the more people think that they have a better idea of what's happening and they can turn it around. And sometimes they're right. I'm not always right about that stuff. Like I get surprised almost at least in one game where I say, hey, get the fuck out of there, this is a bad idea, and then it almost completely turns around for our team. Because again, this game it's not simple. There's just so much going on and so many factors at play that it's almost hard to make rules that are always true in every scenario. Beyond, farming's a really good idea for the first 15 minutes. If you're in lane, getting a lot of farm is a good idea for the first 15 minutes of the game. Rarely is that going to be bad. A bad thing to do. Yeah. Or playing AP, or playing an ADC as an ADC. That's usually going to go well too. There's a few scenarios where playing someone who scales on damage and has a ranged attack as a ADC. A few scenarios where that is a poor idea, if any. feeling bored watching this, so you guys gotta be getting bored watching this and listening to me. I should watch myself more with the gank attempts. I know I make a move on Orianna here soon. For a lot of the game, it's mostly like watching when my buffs spawn, and then looking for pushed lanes to gank. And if they're not gank, then just try and grab farm near a lane that you think might push soon, or near a lane that's been problematic. I do hate how, you know, guides I've seen where it's like you do this thing, and then you do that thing, and then you go top lane to gank, and then you go back with your money. It's like, that's not a good guide, because you're not always going to be getting that kill. You're sometimes going to have to peel away from that initial start, and like, you can't lay things out too matter-of-factly, just because the game world is constantly changing. I got juked there or something, I'm not sure what happened. And right here, I didn't know whether or not I should stick around and fight, or just trust my ultimate and my passive. But generally, especially once I've already put myself on top of the champion, and I'm the type of guy that has to gap close, I'll just stick around and hope for the best. I can tell you, 50 games? No. Earlier when I was playing Volibear, that's the spot I would have run in. But, I mean, he's a strong duelist. So sometimes I'll just stand my ground and hope for the best. And I'm not really familiar with the amount of damage I'm capable of against certain people. It really depends on their resistances and, well, their resistances. How much health they have. How much health I currently have. Like, it's not a champion that scales regularly. Like, the more health they're missing, the more damage my bite's gonna do. Like I said before, where I changed the way I've been leveling my bite lately, so it's doing a lot more damage to champions than it used to. Just grabbing some farm before I go back. Not interesting. Shield from Braum. Decent ult from Gangplank. Putting it like right here would have been money on the run path. Caitlyn's pretty already out of it when it started. And then Thresh got too cute and in costume. I remember watching this point here, and I wanted to go gank top lane again, and you even saw I sort of started running in that direction. But there's just too much going on at bottom. Like, they're both low, Mumu's ganking, the lane's crazy pushed. And also, I know bot lane's bringing a lot more to the game throughout mid and late than teemo is. That's another deciding factor. I almost regretted that last Q charge, but she blew flash. And she blew it like the second after I stopped running at her, which always sucks. I didn't know if this spot was warded, but I figure stepping up there is going to indicate it pretty quickly. I regretted not going for Caitlyn initially there, but it ended up working out. I just assumed that she still had net. Whether or not she used it earlier, wasn't paying attention. It's good to see that, and then react to it if you can. But, and then Braum takes the hook for me, as after I backed off from killing the ward. I should have ran out through this side, although it wouldn't have mattered because Braum would have given them sight of me. Just because after I killed the ward, then they don't have my position anymore. You want to try and hide your position as often as you can, but it's not like you want to really go out of your way into these spots. It's going to save, it's going to cost you like an extra second or two and go for it, but I'm going to watch that gank again really quickly. That was strange. What the fuck? Watch Orianna. What the fuck, Rito? So apparently Orianna has Aladdin's carpet and can fucking hover over random surfaces. Look at this. There's no ultimate. I don't know what the fuck happened here. Like, that was crazy. Well, I mean, I think I've seen it before, but I don't even know what movement ability pushed her into that spot. Okay, finally I'm coming up the link to the gank. Watch this. Oriana's gonna walk right here, and then just kind of like sort of teleport over the. Okay, it was a glitch in the line. That's all it was. She was right here before, and then all of a sudden she just kind of moved through this wall. If you go back in the video, it's recorded in the video. It was just a glitch in the replay client. That makes more sense. So the point that I wanted to initially show there, back to it again. Okay, here comes the gank. After, like, I don't really do anything there beyond pressure her, slow her with my E, and then back off as she's getting close to the kill. Like, you don't have to stay in range to get the kill. This is a good scenario where going for the kill is not a good idea. You want to create opportunities or deal damage without taking any. I'm not sure what one of my little sort of rules I've been trying to reinforce this falls under. But when you gank, don't give a kill away? No, that's not it. There's a point there that can be summarized. I just haven't done it. Yes. Leave it there. Man, I'm getting hungry. What else is too low in this game? Too low there to gank the lane. I want to, but 400 health versus what is now most likely a fed rise. Is he fed yet? No, still just 1-on-1. When does Teemo turn into Satan? I could have sworn he went like 1-8 and was wildly feeding this lane. That hasn't happened yet. Maybe it comes later. I mean, it must. Again, I could be thinking about a game with another Teemo. There was another one, but I pretty firmly remember him jungling. The last Satan Teemo was a jungler. Fed my lane when I was top.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
I'm going for another game for Murray. He's overextended again.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So she gets away, but costs her. I think I saw her flash there. Yeah, costs her flash and her ulti. And you notice the flash wasn't enough there. I kept going. That is not a spot I'm backing off on. She was not under a turret, and there is a very little chance that their jungler is hiding in that bush. Now this is a throwback to my old habits where I wasn't sure. Like, if you look at my camera here, let's go to me. Oh, we're on my camera. Rewind. Yes, I can kill Mumu here by myself. That is true. I do like bullying lanes or imposing my will. Now, I also don't have sight. I know Oriana's not very far away. Thresh, I could have seen on the minimap. There's a lot of reasons why this was just fucking stupid. And I knew that, you know, like, I didn't feel bad when I saw Oriana. I felt real dumb when I saw Thresh. Especially from the direction that he came through the minions and everything. Like, and all I end up doing is giving a double kill away and some buffs, and there really wasn't even anything to be gained from it. I was doing well. I wanted to keep running around and killing things, and it's almost like I get into a different mindset once I get enough. I've done enough things right. It's like you feel like you can't do anything wrong at that stage, and you still. I mean, the really, really good players. That's where it separates them. Or that's one thing that separates really, really good players from just good players.
Blue team's team's turret has been
really
destroyed.
recognizing the scenarios you're in and not pushing things too far. But then again, you have to push things too far to learn that it was too far. Like otherwise, you're always going to be fighting it just under the limit, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. See, like you wanna be really aggressive, but you also have to measure that aggression intelligently. It's almost like you wanna fight like you don't wanna fight like the mountain. You wanna fight like Littlefinger. The mountain uses brute force. I mean, they both have, I would imagine, strong fighting mechanics, but Littlefinger is only ever going to strike in a scenario that's absolutely going to work for him. And he's smart about everything. That's not the greatest analogy. It's an analogy. You wanna fight like the mountain on Littlefinger's orders. Kind of. That'd be a scary beast. Teemo. Keeps trying to fight him. That's probably his mistake. How much health that? I'm not gonna sit there and watch him. I want to full rise away from Gangplank here. It costs him his flash to secure, not the kill.
Shut down.
Bite him in his stupid face. I liked we initiate on Mumu here. This is again me being stupid and feeling like I can do no wrong. Shouldn't be going after Mumu. He's too tanky. Plus he's got CC. He's too near a tower. But I'm not good at being smart, so I keep at it and bite him in his face. And then he taunts me, and it works. Kill him though. Got it paid for. Paid for having a little bit of fun there, Mumu did. I think he was trying to bait me for this, or for perfect time with this Thresh. Keep me around for the Thresh to gank, but fortunately I didn't wait too long. I've definitely died in spots like that, where the guy's super low, and you're trying to look for that perfect moment. Eventually you're going to wait too long, and someone's going to come kill you and make you feel stupid. So, like, I almost want to advocate, go for it. Do it 20 times, and then, you know, you die 2 out of the 20 times, and you're probably choosing bad moments, bad spots to do it in. I know one thing this team was doing all game was largely pushing, never joining the team. I didn't see many mushrooms on the board. Teemo can absolutely be used right in the right hands, but the higher I'm going up in ranked, the less and less I'm seeing that character played even remotely competently. Saw one hell Teemo the other day that just kept pushing, literally took our Nexus down all by himself. Well, we'd try and push out, and then he'd push up the lane, and then he'd walk into a bush somewhere and disappear, and then rinse, repeat, all game long. We had a Renekton that was laying against him that could fight him, but it was back and forth. Sometimes he'd lose, sometimes he'd win, and if he lost, then, you know, our entire push would have to stop and go stop Teemo from taking it. Well, another turret, because he'd likely get one after getting a kill. And this isn't a good spot. I didn't even feel like I'm mostly just doing damage to Thresh at that stage. I didn't like that as an initiation. You don't want to be initiating on the supports too much unless they're really caught out, or at least tanky supports. It's a Nami or a Janna or a Soraka, a little different. Of course, they have the heals and shit, so it makes them not die as fast, but. And we don't win this game. I can usually corral the team to start grouping and fighting properly. And I don't do anything too complex beyond, say, group, objectives, towers. We need a group. You know, and I've been saying a lot of, it's mostly from what I've been seeing in team fights, or at least bad team fighting, is A, we don't stay together as we're roaming the map. Like, there's a lot of splintering. Someone will run off and start wraiths, and someone else will go and check a red buff or something. And this will be at a point where, like, we were grouped as 5, they were grouped as 5. We're around their jungle. They can see that we're sort of in the general ballpark. They've got wards around. They're positioning themselves to either defend us from pushing a turret, or they're looking for a spot to jump on somebody. And then people start looking to farm things. That's a really, really bad habit. Like, splintering, once you group together for, like, little bits of money, that in the grand scheme of things, like, you're going for, like, as a jungler, I'm going for 100 gold when I already have 8,000. Like, I'm going for 8%, or sorry, 1% of what I'm already holding. Like, how many more times do I have to do that to get something that's even going to have an impact in the next team fight? Like, a lot, right? You always want to be looking for little points, but that's definitely the state part of the game you don't want to be looking for little extra bits of farm, especially if it takes you anything longer than a second or two to get it. Just because, like, being there for when the team fight starts is so important. Like, it's everything you've been playing for up until this point. You're gathering all that gold, you're laning, so you can be effective in the team fight, or at least support your teammates who can be effective in the team fight. So that's been a big issue lately, and also poor focusing. Not like, I'll say, for example, I'm in this spot. There's only the 3 of us there, the 3 of them. I'll try and sit at a point like right here, like I'm going to initiate, and I'll be pinging their team to initiate, and people not only sit behind me, but like 4 or 5 feet back from me, to the point where even if I do close the gap and get on top of them, I'll get bursted so quickly that it wouldn't matter. I wanted to watch, actually stopped the video at that team fight, because I really wanted to go over it and see how badly we got crushed. I know a lot of it was from an Orianna ult. Let's look at Orianna's ultimate alone is going to do 400 damage, and then the follow-up distortion is another 400. And then let's say someone is sitting in Gangplank's ultimate for the full duration, which he already used to help me gank Rise. 6 seconds, 120 damage for each ball. So let's say, best case scenario, 4 of those are going to hit you. We're going to hit one person. That's going to do, what, 60% of the damage for one, Look at that. That's entirely no loss. I knew Ori was hitting hard, but... Oh, also that, and Teemo went back? What did he do? Did he go to farm? I bet you he went to farm. Let's watch this Satan Teemo I kept. I was pretty much screaming at him at the end of the game. So we gank that. Where does this team fight occur? At that point it's already occurred. Here's the team fight. He's pushing top. And getting nothing. Right. I remember pinging him to get that turret. And he said, no, Rise is coming back. Let's see where Rise is. No more fog. Free turret. But at least it was 4-on-4. Yeah, Orianna caught an ultimate and just annihilated it. That was all that happened. Nothing too mysterious. I remember having that team fight and being like, we're fucked. I don't know what to do about that. Getting annihilated that quickly, like, ugh. And it's not great that the ADC is getting caught in that ulti either. Because, I mean, Orianna's got to move her ball and then pop it off. It's pretty easy to avoid as an ADC. Speaking as an ADC without a gap closer. Like, I play nothing but Varus, and I don't get hit by that too often. See what Teemo does in the team fight, because he's so passive, or he's been so useless in the game that I bet you, yeah. He does. Well, might have been his damage. I remember watching Lucian, like, walk through Rise there. I was telling you, you can't ever do this as an ADC. Especially in a team fight scenario. Watch Lucian. Someone ends up low. And instead of, he should have maintained distance right here and kept pounding on Rise, but instead he goes after Thresh, and he was really far away too. Like, it just makes no sense. I mean, it's good to finish people, but not in that spot as ADC. It's your job to stay at the fringe of combat and damage wherever you can. In this case, it would have been Rise. And I'm not going to critique him too much more in this game. I don't know how much of this failure was his. I know that games go exceptionally well when I play ADC and just play the role, not very complicated. Just go for towers, stick with the team, try and get as much farm as I can early on, trade well. I mean, I've covered this in other videos. I should leave also other things to talk about for other videos. Teemo going for kills. If I had to guess, he does not get anything. I don't remember this happening. Oh, he's probably gonna get Ori. Oh, I got Ori. Alright, I'm getting hungry. I already said that. Making it hard to focus on anything beyond the fact that I'm hungry. Chase her there, kill her, yay. So the super minions. I see a lot of completely ignoring the fact that inhibitors are important in lower elos. I've saved a lot of games by just killing super minions. Just not following the team at all once the inhibitors go down and killing super minions. You can't do much when they're out. You can kind of push up, if there's only one inhibitor down, you still have turrets in the other lane. You can still push the one lane the super minions are being pushed up at. That's not going to affect things too much. I've never really seen it impact the team fight that badly. Not enough to the point where I'm like, wow, that's an issue. We can't do that. But beyond, if two inhibitors go down, then that's it. You got to sit in the base and just farm minions and wait for them to come back up. It's like best case scenario, you can shove one lane while someone else handles keeping the minions at bay in the other, but then you're guaranteed fighting a 4-on-5 if anybody gets caught. And somebody will always get caught, like, somebody always fucking gets caught. Alright. Just leave it at that. So, what happens the rest of this game? Teemo pushes this lane, doesn't do much else. I bitched him to team fight and he doesn't. How's it end? Oh, looks like he died here. Since I love everyone loves watching Teemo fuck up and die. Oh, he fucked up and died. How does it happen? Come on, show me Satan. Show me your stupid ways. This video is really degrading into me hating Teemo and this person that played it. See? Splintering off, going for farm. Important scenario taking place. I think I'm literally typing in the bush right now, get the fuck back. And I try to take advantage of them being caught out. I can't see what's going on in this portion of the lane. I don't know where they are, but like... I mean, if I have no control over what he... And it is cute that he comes back and then just gets caught and dies and does fucking nothing. I mean, I want to keep waiting for him, but A, I wasn't sure where the rest of their team was, and there could have been an opportunity. And B, I don't... Like, he's so... When my allies get so uncooperative and unreliable, that's almost a point in the game where I have to start taking really wild risks. Whether or not that's the right thing to do, I'm not sure. It's almost like it's like my mentality in StarCraft where I'm behind like a significant, like I'm behind a base, and I've been behind a base for a while as Zerg. Most of the times at that point I would just leave the game, but that's not really an option here. So if I was still in the game, as Zerg at that point, I would go for something stupid, like a giant Baneling Rain Overlord drop, or like over their army with, you know, some burrowed infestors. Like, I would take a pretty wild risk that would either kill them outright or and leave me in a completely crippled spot. And it's kind of the same mentality I adopt when I'm dealing with uncooperative and unreliable teammates. It almost like why not initiate on that guy? I'm like, I know that this guy's probably not going to be there for the team fight, or even if he is, like, he might wander off to farm. And like, even if he is pushing that lane, like, he's not drawing pressure to it because he's not hitting the tower. Like, he's having no impact. So essentially, I'm fighting a 4-on-5. And you're fighting a 4-on-5, unless you're wildly fed and your team's playing like God, you have to catch people once you hit the late game. Like, you just have to. Like, their sheer numbers alone is almost enough to win outright. This looked like a good spot. I was able to zone Ori and keep their sort of damage at bay, but then Raj shows up and just around. My passive popped, I jumped back on, got Oriana, but didn't matter. Ryze walks around dropping AoE bombs on people. Well, Teemo walks up, goes pachoo pachoo, and then disappears into oblivion. Like, that's the other issue. If Teemo's not, if he's not wildly fed, so he can burst people with his little pachoo pachoos, or he's not split pushing like a god with jungles with mushrooms all over the map, this just doesn't do anything in team fights. Like, between him and Gangplank here, this game is basically unwinnable. Like, Gangplank, I camped lane, I got him fed, I got him a lot of kills, got him a lot of money. It didn't matter. It didn't make a lick of fucking difference. So this is a good example of a game that just wasn't winnable. It just wasn't. Like, I don't know what I could have done properly. Even after watching the replays, I can't make Lucian reposition better. I can't make him not chase for stupid kills. I can't make Teemo join the team and team fight. And even then, if I could, I can't make his abilities do the things or do different things than what they do. So unwinnable game, and you're going to come across roughly a third of the ones that you play are going to be unwinnable. And that's a fact of this game that you just have to accept and get used to. And it sucks. I was in my platform placements last night, and I failed them entirely because of a top lane that fed wildly and wouldn't group. Like, I almost want to go over that game too, but I'm gonna say that is the end of the episode. This one ran a little longer than most. I guess until next time, guys. Thanks for watching.